during the 1920s, they called them the Roaring 20s, and the reason why is because the stock market continued to go up and up and up and up and up, and nobody ever thought it would end. All during the 1920s. And in 1929, they had a crash to beat all crashes. Now, leading up to this crash, an awful lot of people made statements about the stock market. And because it's such a long time ago, an awful lot of these statements have been lost to history. But I found a few of them. Now, one of the things why I'm putting this episode on is, first off, Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies have been in a mad bull run that even beats the stock market. And the reason why I say it beats the stock market is it's all built on speculation at this point. Now, I'm not saying that cryptocurrencies aren't good. I'm not saying that they're not going to win. I believe that cryptocurrencies will win out in the end and will actually, as a store of value, they're better than fiat, much better. But right now, cryptocurrencies are, they don't really have, try to spend one. Just go out and try to spend one. Try to even find somebody that even knows what the thing is. Do like a Mark Dice, you know. A Mark Dice goes out with a 10-ounce gold, not gold, but 10-ounce silver bar, and he offers them a Hershey bar or a 10-ounce silver bar. And everybody picks the Hershey bar, because they don't even know what silver is. Only a few of them know what Bitcoin is, less than know what silver is. Honest to Pete, there's no real market for it. You can spend a few Bitcoins here and there. Bitcoin, the actual Bitcoin. But try to spend, say, Monero. Walk into your local store and say, I want to spend Monero in here. Can I buy a pair of jeans with Monero? This whole market is built on speculation of what these currencies are going to become in the future. And everybody is buying them. And they're buying them up higher and higher and higher and higher. Now, if the people were subtle and they didn't drive the price up and up and up and up and up, well, then the cryptocurrencies would find a fair market value, right? And they would stay on that fair market value, and everything would be hunky-dory. Bitcoin right now would probably be in the vicinity of maybe $400 or $500 or something like that, maybe $1,000 at the most. But why it's heading for $5,000 is speculators have driven it up. Now, Bitcoin is the keystone to all of these other coins. If Bitcoin goes up, all the other coins go up with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes down, all the other coins come down with Bitcoin. They follow Bitcoin, even Ethereum. Bitcoin's a keystone. Bitcoin now, and this morning, is charging upwards. The stock market is charged upwards for the longest time as well. And it's classic. It's making a classic pattern that's been played out over and over again through the markets, through history. And this is this pattern I'm showing you behind me here on this chart. Now, what these circles are, with the numbers in them, are the time frame when people made certain statements. And I'm going to read you these statements that people made. Statement number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 were made when the market was still on the way up. Then there was a little bit of a fall, and statements 6, 7, and 8 and 9 were made. People made statements when the market started to come back up again. But then when she crashed, all these statements, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 19, and 20, were all made when the market was in the process of crashing. You see? People's sentiments are always the same way. When a market's been going up for a long time and charging up and up and up and up and up, and they never see an end to it, after a while they actually start to believe in their own mind that it's going to go up forever, that it's never going to stop. And this is the way Bitcoin is right now. There's an awful lot of believers out there right now who think Bitcoin right now is going to go up to 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, and that it's never going to stop. Bitcoin eventually will go up to those prices. It will, eventually. But when Bitcoin goes up into those high, extremely high prices, an awful lot more people are going to know what it is than know what it is now. And an awful lot more stores are going to be willing to accept, or people are going to be willing to accept it for payment. for actual payment. An awful lot more people will accept it for actual payment. Right now, there's very few people out there that will even accept Bitcoin for actual payment. Only a handful, which shows it's a speculator's market right now at this point. And it's been pumped up to obscenely high levels, right? Now think about something else. Gold and silver's been through a bear market for years now, and they're unloved and nobody wants them. They're priced down not much over mining production cost. Okay, you know what I'm getting at. Anyway, I'm going to read these statements that were made about the market before 1929. And this market, if you look at it, it's very similar. Looks very similar to Bitcoin. You know. So, statement number 1. It sounds just like what Janet Yellen said a month or so ago. It says, "We will not have any more crashes in our time." I think she said our lifetimes. But he said in our time. John Maynard Keynes. And you know she's a Keynesian. She follows his philosophy. And he said, "We will not have any more crashes in our time." John Maynard Keynes, leading British economist. 1927 he made that statement. Statement number 2 was, "I cannot help but raise a dissenting voice to statements that we are living in a fool's paradise." In other words, people out there who saw the stock market going up and up and up were saying we're living in a fool's paradise. This thing's going to come down, they were saying. And he says, "I cannot help but raise a dissenting voice to statements that we are living in a fool's paradise." In other words, he's saying it's not so. It's going to go up forever. It'll never stop. And prosperity in this country must necessarily diminish to recede in the near future. So he was thinking that the stock market was going to go up forever and never going to stop. It's just going to keep going forever. He said there will be no interruption to our permanent prosperity. Well, you know, the Great Depression come not long after he said that. And that was Mylon E. Forbes, president of Pierce Arrow Motor Car Company. It says, let's see, I'm going to read this one here. 4, there may be a recession in stock prices, but not anything in the nature of a crash. So he said there's never going to be a crash. He said there may be a recession in stock prices. In other words, a little drawback. But he said, but not anything in the nature of a crash. That statement was by Irving Fisher, leading U.S. economist. That was the leading U.S. economist of the day. And when he made that statement, it was number 4. Now let's take a look on the chart here. What is number 4? Number 4 is just before it crashed. He said there may be a recession in stock prices, but not anything in the nature of a crash. Oh boy, was he in for a surprise. Stock prices have reached what looks like a permanent high plateau. This is what the next guy says. Number 5. Stock prices have reached what looks like a permanently high plateau. I do not feel there will be soon, if ever, a 50 to 60 point break from present levels, such as the bears have predicted. I expect to see the stock market a good deal higher within a few months. You know? So there's a lot of them out there right now who are thinking the same thing about the stock market, and they're thinking the same thing about Bitcoin. Meanwhile, the Fed is tightening monetary policy. In other words, drawing the money away from underneath all of these speculative ventures. Can we see a problem with this? Another guy said, this crash is not going to have any much effect on business. Arthur Reynolds. So that last statement was by Irving Fisher, and this one's by Arthur Reynolds. We feel that fundamentally Wall Street is sound, and that for people who can afford to pay for them outright, good stocks are cheap at these prices. And that was statement number 5. Just before the crash. We feel fundamentally Wall Street is sound, and that for people who can afford to pay for them outright, good stocks are cheap at these prices. It says those last few comments were just the days or so before the first big crash. In other words, about the same stage and the exact same stage as the cycle we are in now. This is the guy that's writing this article. And so the stock market's been pumped up, but what's even been worse pumped up than the stock market is the cryptocurrency market. Now that's not saying it can't go up higher. They're very exuberant, the buyers. And they see the price going up higher and higher and higher, and what this does is it reinforces their belief system that it's never going to end, that the price is going to continue to go up higher and higher and higher, and they better get in now, as fast as they can get in. This reinforces that. The higher it goes, the more it's going to reinforce that, and the more they're going to buy in. But at a certain point, they're going to start to say to themselves, gee, these prices are awfully high. And if they start to see them falling, they're going to be the first ones to come running in there trying to sell as fast as they can when the prices finally do start to fall back. Because it's all speculative. The whole thing it's been pumped up, just like a pump and dump. You know? It's been pumped up. And it's amazing that it's actually going higher at this point. I never thought it would make these heights, you know, before it falls back. But I'm going to tell you what this has done. Bitcoin going up and to all this, and cryptocurrencies going to these high highs. It's spread the word out about cryptocurrencies. It's spread the word out, and it's made an awful lot more people know what they are. An awful lot more people know how to use them. It's actually been a mover behind the cryptocurrencies. And so when they do finally crash, and I don't have any doubts in my mind that there is going to be a top and it is going to come down. I don't believe it's going to go up forever. There's no way I can believe it'll ever go up forever. Nothing goes up forever, especially when you don't have anything you can do with them. What can you do with a Bitcoin? Hardly anybody will actually take them as money. And the other coins are even worse. You know? It's hard to spend Bitcoins. There are a few credit cards you can get and stuff where you can use like Visa off of Bitcoin or something like that, but or you can exchange your Bitcoin or whatever. There are ways out if you buy Bitcoin back into fiat again, but you have to mostly move back toward fiat again. It's settling itself in a position where in order for it to be exchanged, it's valued in dollars. Bitcoins are valued in dollars. They don't have their own particular value to them yet. I say yet because I know that they will. There is a time coming in the future. I'm going to estimate. I'm going to say it's a lot sooner than people think. I'm going to say it's probably within 5 years where Bitcoin will not be valued in dollars anymore. Bitcoin will be valued in Bitcoin. And gold will be valued in Bitcoin. This is where we're heading. But right now, Bitcoin's valued in dollars. And it won't be valued in dollars in a few years. Because the dollar will be absolutely worthless. It'll be like 1 trillion, billion, zillion dollars for almost nothing. The dollar's going to go down the toilet hole. And I mean, it's hard to get your head around that right now because everything's valued in dollars, including Bitcoin. How many dollars is a Bitcoin worth? But in the end, it's going to switch around to where Bitcoin is going to be valued in Bitcoin. People are going to start to have to change their way of thinking, and they're going to have to think, how much is this worth in Bitcoin? The guy says, my house is worth a quarter of a Bitcoin. That's what the guy will say. And the guy says, you must have an awfully nice house. What is it, a mansion? You know, the next guy will say. He won't say my house is valued in dollars. How many dollars it's worth anymore. I won't say that anymore because Bitcoin will be valued then in Bitcoin. And by that time, everybody will know what it is and everybody will have their wallet open wanting them. Just like they do dollars now. Because this thing's going to win in the end. It's going to win. But right now, let's not talk. That's talking about the future. Let's talk about right now. Right now, it's just barely got its foot in the door. Bitcoin does. It's got a few payment processors and stuff, and without them, it wouldn't even have its foot in the door. What's a Bitcoin worth if you cannot spend it? If nobody's going to take it? If it's only worth a Bitcoin as a Bitcoin? The only way you can spend them anywhere is through payment processors. You know? I can see that the government, their next move might be to stop payment processing to try to kill Bitcoin. That's a possibility I've thought of, but they haven't seemed to try that ploy yet. They have already started to attack certain exchanges. They attacked BTCE. They attacked. Let's see. When did they attack BTCE? I can't tell you exactly when, but it's been enough. It's been long enough ago that their price is frozen at 25.46. That's what the price of Bitcoin was when they attacked BTCE. And that couldn't have been very long ago either. Just maybe less than a month. And the price has moved up from 25.46 to 45.55 right now. That kind of tells you how the price has exploded. It's nearly doubled. This is not going to last. For anybody out there who thinks that this is going to last forever, with Bitcoin going up at these high speed, going straight up like this, you're living in a fool's paradise. Now, it's caught me a little bit by surprise that it's going up this high. I never thought it would make it up this high. And I'm just sitting back saying, how high is this son of a gun going to go before she breaks? Because I know she is going to break. And the higher it goes, and the faster it goes up, you know, the faster it's going to come down when she breaks. You know? It would be like a guy that's bending a stick like this, or bending a broom handle. And he's got the broom handle bent so it's got the bend of the moon in it, like, you know. And he's holding it in either hand, this broom handle. And he tells you, this broom handle will never break. And just as he's bending it a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. Well, you know in your head, that broom handle's going to snap. But he might be able to convince a few people out there that that broom handle's never going to break because he's bending it more and more and more and more. And he's telling everybody, this won't break, this won't break. And when it snaps all of a sudden like. And that's the way with Bitcoin here. She's been going up and up and up and up and up, parabolic. And I know it's like bending a broom handle. It's going to snap. I'm just wondering when. That's what I'm wondering. Every day I'm watching it go up now, I'm wondering when she's going to snap. I know she's going to snap. Now, when I look at gold and silver, who've been lingering down at these low lows, and every time it starts to go up a little bit, the government uses the banks to stomp it back down again by dumping paper short contracts into the market that are absolutely valueless. Really, they're valueless because there's no physical asset to back them. And I think silver, they're over 100 to 1. They got like 100 paper contracts or more to every ounce of silver. And so this is like a game of musical chairs. If these people really wanted to settle their contracts and say, we want the silver, that wouldn't be there. It's not there to cover it. One day they might sell all of the world's year's mining production, like in one day, with these short contracts trying to drive the price down. And they've got the price down. They keep the price down. They've been stomping that price down, stomping it down, and they've made the most wonderful buying opportunity in the face of the earth. Whereas cryptocurrencies right now, I'm going to tell you what my position is. Wait for it. If you're out there and you're thinking about buying cryptocurrencies right at this moment, I would say just wait a little bit longer. Because after she snaps, that's when to come in and buy them. After the market snaps. After you get your big crash. Then come in and scoop them up. Because they're still going to be a bargain. Because in the end they're going to win. And actually, even at these prices, they're actually a bargain. It's just that they're going to fall first. That's what's coming. And the higher they go, the sharper they're going to fall when they fall. Because they're overinflated. They're going to come back down to fair market value. So listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we will catch you in the next episode. Bye.